Thanks for staying with us. We'll be starting the newspaper reviews with The Nation. Major headline: NLC justifies 615,000 naira demand. I hope somebody has the story. Rivers House reaffirms legitimacy as Fubara backs 3 loyal lawmakers. Sirika orders get 100 million bail. Chibok girl back with 3 kids after 10 years. Senate House differ on cyber levy. There's a very big advertisement here. That's what took most of the stories out. High Chief Dr. Government Owezide Ekpemupolo, alias Tom Polo, was wishing a royal birthday wish to our Awujale. Okay, and congratulations, Your Majesty. And that's what we have here. What stories do we have in the Nation? I
have the story of another Chibok girl who has been rescued and has been returned to her family. Her name, Lydia Simon, one of the schoolgirls, as we know. That story forever live with us. 2014, one of the abducted girls from government secondary school in Chibok. So she was returned yesterday with three children. They said that the young mother was handed over to Borno State Government by the military to be reunited with her family, and is also believed to be 6 months pregnant. So the report here just talks about the issue of, the Chibok girls and what happened, and it's been 10 years since that happened. And they also explained that, the military consistently till today, they're doing everything that they can to make sure that they're rescuing each and every one of the girls. As we know, a couple of them have been rescued. There's Esther Marcus, if you remember, she was 103 on the serial number, so 103, and she was rescued by the troops. And also they said recently another, was rescued. So the military is saying that we'll continue to do our best, we'll continue to work hard to make sure that we can rescue all these girls and reunite them with their families. But they have really...
Yeah, but with them having kids and their attachment,
yes.
I wonder if they have attachment to the father of the kids, and what happens to the children.
They're likely trauma bonded at this stage.
Very complex situation.
Very complex.
People will learn to move on regardless. I think I have from The Nation, the one that caught my attention was for the royal birthday wish. And from High Chief Dr. Government Owedieze Ekpemupolo, a.k.a. Tom Polo, wishing Awujale, the Ogbagba II Awujale, is the paramount ruler of the Ijebu land, Obasikiru Kayode Adetono, on his 90th birthday and his 64th coronation anniversary. And for me, because he said in his words, he said, Kabiyesi has earned his stripes as a forward-looking and venerable royal father, not just in the Yoruba land, but across the globe. Kabiyesi has fought for and invested heavily in the democracy and good governance in Nigeria. It was on this premise that you endow the chair in the above discipline as the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agowo, Ogun State of Nigeria. You built a school of postgraduate and research studies in governance. I mean, it's a whole lot of message, but I'm more delighted because Tom Polo is from the Rivers State of Nigeria and wishing our paramount ruler here in the Yoruba race a happy birthday. So it feels that there's the kind of integration and there's the kind of bond. Like I always say to people, Nigerians are not bad people after all.
Yeah.
The circumstances and situations make us seem like enemy to each other. So why can't the Lagos State governor wish the Sultan of Sokoto a happy birthday and vice versa? So
at that level, they are united. Now we're here.
You understand? So we see the unity above.
Their children are marrying each other. Yes.
So
they are helping each other
there's
invest.
a lot of unity up there than what we think.
Yeah.
So if we can trickle it down to also understand that, see, your life is not worth taking for anybody. They are bonded in ways that you do not imagine.
Yeah, true.
I have the cyber security levy. The Senate and the House of Representatives yesterday disagreed on the implementation of the cyber security levy announced by the Central Bank of Nigeria. While the Senate argued that the levy was not punitive, the House called on the CBN to halt its implementation because of the apprehension created by the announcement. Also, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group criticized the levy, saying it should be paid by high net worth companies and individuals. The levy has been said, the act has been said to take off in 10 days. And on Wednesday, the presidency explained that it was being proposed to tackle cybercrimes and terrorism because Nigeria lost over 227 billion to cybercrimes alone last year. And so they have told the bank, the Apex banks, that monthly deductions must be remitted to the National Cybersecurity Fund account by the 5th business day of every subsequent months. But then they're also saying that the citizens should not be worried or be apprehensive because the Act has created exemptions that would protect and relieve ordinary citizens. And some of the exemptions include salary payments, intra-account transfers, loan disbursements, and repayments, and other financial transactions. If you're transferring from your own account to another account, whether in the same bank or another bank,
yeah.
it's you're exempted, from that. But then their decision followed that. The CBN is saying they're telling the CBN to immediately withdraw the circular and issue another one in line with the provisions of the Act because they feel that the one that was issued was misleading and that was causing apprehension to people.
So I have the major headline. It's quite interesting. Organized labor has justified its proposed 615,000 naira minimum wage. They said the request is based on a conservative analysis of what an average Nigerian family needs to survive. He was the one that's the NLC chairman. President Joe Ajero was the one that stated this in the headquarters yesterday in Lagos. And so that we don't talk too much, I want to just go straight to how they had broken it down. So he said, first of all, Labour was not opposed to negotiated wage for workers. It's just because of the prevailing economic realities that's what informed the decision to put forward for negotiation the 615,000 naira. And they broke it down to say that they presented it, but if they are asked to, first of all, go back to represent today, based off of the inflation and all the other things that we're now paying additional, they will definitely increase the price. So they said, they calculated, I want to get the calculations, I saw it not long. They said, okay, feeding based on 500 naira per person, which is, for instance, a meal of a family of 6. And if a person spends 500 naira a day, that's like 1,000 per person, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know how that goes. That would take the 6 tables in a month to 270,000 naira for feeding alone. The 50,000 is for education and medicals, which they did not even add whether you're going to be having surgery or not. Just hoping everything works fine for you. Then for your utilities like electricity bill, he said they had pegged 20,000 before the tariff was even increased. That's what they had pegged. Then he said some families buy gas at least twice a month. That's between 30,000 to 35,000 naira. And at the end of the day, by the time you calculate everything, you see that you'll be getting 615,000 naira, yes, based on these normal expenses. Now, if you have extended family, they did not add that one. Maybe you're the one taking care of your grandma, grandpa, and other extended things. They've not added this new tariff you talked about for the, what's it called?
For the
cyber security, and they've not added all of that. If they have to recalculate this, that amount is definitely going to increase. And so,
family of 6, they
family
say.
of 6. Wow. We have to move on. Let's take the Punch. Major headline, reps to summon Edu Umahi AGF. Works Ministry Defense Project. House panel gets 4 weeks to complete probe. Government under pressure to stop cybersecurity levy. 2.7 billion fraud. Court imposes travel ban on Sirika and daughter. Abduction. Citizens slam IGP for detaining journalists beyond 48 hours. Rivers crisis. Fubara lawmaker lock horns again. Much sorrow as U-17 hero Babangida is buried. Businessman in Lagos, police bika over 70,000 naira extortion allegation. Senate okays death penalty for drug traffickers. Q1 foreign debt servicing gulped $1 billion. This is according to the CBN. One story before we go on a short break.
I think I have the 2.7 billion naira fraud. Court imposes travel ban on Sirika and his daughter. And this one says that the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, High Court in Abuja on Thursday barred the immediate past Minister of Aviation, Hidi Sirika, his daughter Fatima, and his son-in-law Jalal Haman from traveling outside the country. Justice Silvanus Orji ruled that they must not leave Nigeria for any reason pending the conclusion of their 2.7 billion naira fraud. And the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Thursday on 6 counts charges bordering on 2.7 billion naira fraud. They were arraigned alongside Al Burak Investment Limited. The commission said in doing that the ex-minister acted contrary to the Section 19 of the Corrupt Practices of Other Related Offences Act 2000. And in other count charges, the anti-graft also alleged that about August 18, 2022, in Abuja, Sirika did use his office to confer unfair advantage upon Al-Burak Global Investment Limited, whose alter ego, Fatima Hidi Sirika and Jalad Sule Hamam are your daughter and son-in-law respectfully. And this is also telling us that he used his position to influence the award of the contract given to his daughter and his son-in-law. And because of this, in 3 count charges, the EFCC accused Sirika of criminal breach of trust while being the Minister of Aviation and in his capacity as a public officer on or about the 18th of August 2022 in Abuja within this jurisdiction.
We'll take it. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the Punch.
Yes, I've got this crisis happening in Rivers State. So the Rivers State lawmakers loyal to Nyesom Wike, that's the FCT minister, and those loyal to the governor, Fubara, they said they exchanged words over the plan made by the governor to renovate the state legislative quarters. They said the governor went to the state legislative quarters and said, I think we need to pull this down and renovate it. So those lawmakers loyal to Wike is like, you have started. You remember that is how you pull down the House of Assembly because, of the issues that were happening. And now you want to use the same mindset. They don't believe you have to do anything
renovations.
Pull down the legislative quarters. He says, look at the legislative quarters. There's nothing wrong with it. We're staying here. It's fine. The governor said, is there anything wrong for me to want to do what is right for my people? What I think is best for my people? But we remember the politics that happened at the time.
Yes.
When the assembly blew up, the lawmakers had tried to rush in to impeach the governor at the time. And then he, by himself, supervised the bringing down of that building.
Complex. And I heard the complex wasn't so bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
Very
well, according to them, we don't know. Now with the legislative quarters, it's like, I just want to do what is best for my people. Why are you complaining?
So there's roads to be fixed.
So there are things. He wants to add it to the list of the roads and everything.
Start with the ones that are dilapidated.
Anyway, that's the governor. He does what's best for his people. So they are going back and forth. I think if it's really just about politics, we should please hold off on that. And going further in the Constitution, we should be able to make sure that there should be a procedure before you pull down buildings.
They are usually procedures, but what I know is that the person who the honors rest on has the power to say, the final say. And I saw somebody commenting yesterday on this same issue that he wants to follow the way of his previous predecessor, Rotimi Amechi, and it was just too much.
As well, I have the drug trafficking and death sentence story. The Senate on Thursday approved the death penalty for dealers and importers of cocaine, heroin, and other hard drugs into the country. We know what's going on with our youths now. The drugs are just everywhere. The proposed capital punishment also applies to manufacturing, trafficking, dealing in, or delivery of hard drugs by any means. Yes. The penalty for drugs importation or dealership is captured in Section 11 of the extant law, which Ndume sought to be increased to death sentence. He also said that it should be toughened beyond life imprisonment. It should be death sentence, although this proposal did not sit well with some of his colleagues, especially former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshimole, who took the floor to voice out his reservations. But he said that that this is a matter of life and death, and in such situations, that they should be accountable. His position was, however, overruled by the Deputy Senate President, Jibrin, who told him that he should have called for a division of the Senate immediately after the voting took place and before the Senate moved to another clause in the amendment bill. So let's see how that goes.
All right, a quick story before we run off. A Nigerian businessman, Abbas Alade, alleged that Nigerian police officers extorted 70,000 naira from him May 4th, 2024 on Eko Bridge, Ijora, Olokpa area of Lagos after he refused to offer bribes to them. So according to the story and his own account, he said that he noticed that there was traffic along that area, but he was just waiting and they were going gradually. But then he saw police officers who were stopping the vehicles and collecting bribe, so he refused to give them money. They now accused him that he had taken BART lane. So he said, I've not taken BART lane now. Show me where you think, okay, where's your evidence? You people have your phones. You normally do videos. Where's your evidence? They had no evidence. They said we're going to take him to the police station. At the end of the day, he was able to record and then sent the recording to his brother. At the end of the day, they took him there. He had to pay 70,000 naira.
In the police station?
In the police station. Wow. only for him to realize that they had not accused him of BRT lane. They had accused him of not using his seatbelt or something. And he's calling them out. Well, the police said he actually took the BRT lane, and that was why they had collected money from him. Let's move on quickly now to the Daily Sun. Convicted drug barons to get death sentence, major headline, as Senate approves capital punishments. That's what Amaka just took. We'll review upward 615,000 naira minimum wage if inflation bites harder. NLC President Ajero says hardship in Nigeria worsening. I've taken that story earlier. Reps probe Lagos Calabar Highway contract. Foreign Affairs Ministry move to recover 28 trillion lost revenue. Cybersecurity levy splits National Assembly. Senate House take divergent positions. Rivers crisis. Wabara urges Tinubu to call Wike to order. Lawmakers summon NDPHC MD over abandoned 252-megawatt power plant in Bayelsa. Prince Harry wife arrived Nigeria today, for real, to visit wounded soldiers and others. 4.135 billion fraud. Ex-aviation minister Sirika, daughter, son-in-law, Dr. Rain gets 400 million bail. Headsmen kill Agro Rangers commander in Benue. What stories do we have in the Sun? Who's taking Sun?
Okay, so I'm taking Son, yes. Prince Harry, the defense headquarters was all set for the arrival of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan, to Nigeria for a 3-day private visit. The visit, which is on the invitation of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, to Harry, will enable him visit the wounded soldiers. They said that the wounded soldiers are excited about this visit. They said that they already have a positive outlook to life. Because why wouldn't you? You're being visited by your prince and princess.
Royalty.
Yeah, royalty. The chairman organizing committee of the visit, director of sports, Air Vice Marshal Abidemi, said that Harry, who founded the Invictus Game, would visit the Army Reference Hospital, Kaduna, on Saturday. And then and we also visit the wounded soldiers and some of their families in Abuja. They will also witness a novelty football match during the visit. And then they also said that that Nigeria is now part of the country that is going to also host the Invictus Game. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to host the Invictus Game. And that on Saturday, that there will be an exhibition of novelty match where the CDS team and the Duke team will be having a volleyball match at the Armed Forces Officers' Mess.
Oh, I love that.
Interesting.
And we know that Megan just recently found out that she's 43% Nigerian.
This is amazing. I'm sure there are other things that will happen that they've not told us yet.
I would just like to say whatever that is given to the wounded soldiers should please be given to them, because we have this attitude of when they give things to people and some people don't know about
we
it, siphon it, we hoard it. Let's not do that.
Yeah, we're better now.
Because they said that they will also be part of an NGO.
It's the Invictus Games we're looking forward to.
Yeah, Vanguard. Major headline, project not okayed by National Assembly. That's the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. Not okayed by National Assembly, procurement for probe. Senate okays death penalty for manufacturers of dangerous drugs. Cash transfer scheme raised household savings but had little other impact. Deporting 317 Osun indigenes from Lagos illegal, according to Falano. Senate reps disagree on implementation of cybersecurity levy. IMF cautioned federal government against CBN Act amendments. Federal government telecoms operators disagree on tariff hike. Who has that? And 2.7 billion naira fraud. Ex-aviation minister Sirika, daughter, docked, gets 100 million naira bail. What stories do we have in the Vanguard?
Okay. The one that interested me was the deporting 317 Osun indigenes from Lagos is illegal, Falano says. The Lagos chairman of the Alliance on Surviving COVID-19 and Beyond, ASCAB, ASCAB for short, Mr. Femi Falano-san, yesterday described the deportation of 317 Osun indigenes as illegal and a violation of human rights, insisting that the deportees should be returned to Lagos. Last weekend, 317 indigenes of Osun State origin were rounded up in several parts of Lagos and loaded into several luxury buses, which drove them to Osun State. They were later dropped off at various points, including Ilesha Akure Express Junction, Buris, Ilesha, Ibodi, Iginla to Ife Express Junction, Osun Ankara Express Junction, Imelu Express Junction, and Ikinredo Express Junction. And the statement reads that in distancing itself from the illegal deportation of the 317 citizens. The Lagos State Police Command stated that in keeping with its mandate of prevention and detection of crime, it conducts raid of black spots from time to time and promptly arraigns only culpable suspects in courts of competent jurisdiction in the state after a thorough screening and prohibition and people's raided. However, Falana is also saying that it is illegal to deport people from, that the government claimed that 450 miscreants were at the weekend rescued, of which 317 pleaded for assistance to relocate to their various states due to the hardship they are facing here in Lagos.
Oh, wow.
79 have been absorbed into some government facilities for rehabilitation after showing signs of being unwell. The victims of the illegal deportations have contradicted the account of the Lagos State Government. According to them, they were abducted and forcefully loaded into several luxury buses and
Abducted
expelled
from
Lagos State without their consent.
Oh, wow.
It's a laughable
That's quite
story.
interesting, yeah.
They said they abducted them. The Lagos State Government said they conducted.
But what were
search
they doing
round
here in the
black
first
spots.
place?
But I
Yeah.
think that
but
during
legally they said it's
Fashola's
not.
era, during Fashola's tenure, we also had something like this, but they were more of mentally challenged people. I remember that they dropped people off in Borno State, they dropped people off in Osun State, and so if the police says it's part of their own jurisdiction to read off, I think it's not a bad one.